Harpers Ferry is one of those places in American history that I guess you could call it sacred. So if you're interested in Civil War history or West Virginia history or just American history in general, Harpers Ferry is one of those places you gotta visit, especially if you like hooking up with some feisty smallmouth bass on a fly rod, which is exactly what we're doing today on the Potomac, along with my guide Brian Kelly and Miss West Virginia, Caitlin Gates. I can't think of a better way to celebrate West Virginia's 150th birthday. Stay tuned. Traveling the world, fishing, enjoying the great outdoors. Those are things that would have seemed impossible to me when I was a kid growing up in the mountains of West Virginia. I'm a lucky man, and I never want to forget it, and I'm hoping that sharing my experiences with folks will inspire them to do the same. I'm Curtis Fleming, and these are my Fly Rod Chronicles. When you watch a show, you know I love my home state of West Virginia. I even had to learn how to say the word sesquicentennial. It was 150 years ago that West Virginia left Virginia and become its own state. The story of John Brown's raid is riveting and definitely worthy of spending some time learning about it if you visit Harpers Ferry. Brown was a dedicated abolitionist and had conceived a daring plan to attack the federal government's arsenal in Harpers Ferry and give the captured weapons to slaves in the hopes of setting off an armed uprising throughout the South. Ironically, the Union officer who led the assault on Brown's raiding party was none other than future Confederate Army leader Robert E. Lee. Brown failed in his efforts, but his raid on Harpers Ferry was one of the most pivotal events leading to the Civil War. Harpers Ferry sits where the Shenandoah meets the Potomac, and the scenery is spectacular. President Thomas Jefferson himself wrote after a visit to this place that it was perhaps one of the most stupendous scenes in nature. A quick trip on the water proves old Tom was right. The scenery around the Potomac at Harpers Ferry is rugged, and the same goes for the fish.
Always listen to your guide, always.
I'm fortunate to have Brian Kelly from Anglers Inn as my guide. He dedicates himself to keeping up with this ever-changing river and the fish who call it home.
I'm thinking that's me.
I think that's you.
Just one fish after another. Nice, huh?
Yeah.
A little bend in the rock. And he come up and smacked it. So that blue popper, it's imitating
the damselfly.
The damselfly.
Blue damsel.
Yeah, that is the color of them.
Yep.
It's kind of that blue.
Shenandoah blue.
Yeah.
Unhook the boat, and we're actually going to lose some ground a little bit, and we're going to start casting up that way.
Oh, there he is! Look at this! Now see, I wasn't expecting that. You see the underhand hook set?
Yeah, it's there.
I'm just like didn't have confidence in the fish. Now that is a hungry fish.
That's a hungry fish. Let me help you knock him off the hook.
Yeah, there you go. Attaboy, Brian. Look how thick in the tail.
Oh, look how mean he looks. He even looks mean. And we haven't seen a fish with a mark or a damage on him at all.
Right.
Look how beautiful the stripes are on that fish.
Hey, there's a lot more going on Fly Rod Chronicles behind the scene. If you want to check us out, go to our Facebook or Twitter. We're back on the Potomac River at Harpers Ferry, and I'm living every fishing show host dream. I'm shooting a show where the fish are cooperating at 110%.
Thank you, brother. You gotta work this hand out a little bit, you know?
If all that history and fishing wasn't enough to get me to Harpers Ferry and the historic Potomac and Shenandoah rivers, I had another reason. I got to fish with Miss West Virginia.
This is my first time fly fishing, and I'm hoping that I will do a good job. I've grown up around it for a little while as my father, my grandpa, and my brother all fish, so I knew this was something that would be fun for me to try. Crap!
Now I know some of you would just love to pick up the phone and give me a holler lecturing me on my casting. In fact, some of you do.
Well, Curtis, he needs to learn how to fish. He really does. I will teach him next time he comes.
That's okay, I get it. I also get that learning to fly cast can be a challenge even for a veteran of other types of fishing because the mechanics of the cast are so different. You'll notice Caitlin is still bending her wrist like a spin fisherman. Eventually, she'll get the proper hang of it, keeping the wrist straight, seeing your lower arm as an extension of the pull with only a limited bending of the elbow and a sense of almost pushing through the pole. And if you can picture you're holding a big old Sunday newspaper under your arm and trying not to drop it, that will keep your cast closer to your body and more effective and easier on your muscles.
I'm coming. If I lose it, I'm gonna cry. How do you like that, Curtis? Woo! That was so exciting.
I've had some sore muscles from casting and reeling in fish before, but never have I got blisters. That's what all this action on the Potomac got me. I was actually glad to get back to the Angler's Inn for some good old-fashioned Southern hospitality and some great cooking.
While in historical Harpers Ferry, we stayed at the Angler's Inn, which was a highlight of my trip. Aside from the fishing, I really enjoyed my stay here and really felt at home.
I had a big appetite and couldn't wait to have some of Debbie's home cooking back at Angler's Inn. Who wants to eat at a chain restaurant when you can get food this good made from scratch and support a local business?
So this morning we have for you a ginger mint melon with mint syrup on it, blueberry muffins, and a spinach strata with sausage.
Two mighty rivers come together at Harpers Ferry, the Potomac and the Shenandoah, and both offer some tremendous float fishing opportunities. Today, we decided to try our luck on the Shenandoah, a river I've known since my childhood. John Denver sings about the Shenandoah in Take Me Home, Country Roads, the ultimate song about West Virginia. Ironically, however, as closely identified as the river is with the Mountain State, it only flows through West Virginia for about 20 miles. But what an awesome 20 miles.
And that's my first Shenandoah bass probably since I was 6 years old, right? On the creek hopper. The creek hopper. Oh yeah, that's just a warm-up fish.
One of the most effective patterns in and around Harpers Ferry is the crick hopper.
It's midsummer, we're fishing the Potomac, and we're using crick hoppers. It's a combination between a Madam X, a hopper, and a cricket. Just gonna start with a basic thread wrap, of course. Trim off the excess. We've got a couple rubber legs tied up for the tail. Trim off those excess, you can use them again. I have a piece of 2mm foam for the underbody, piece of 3mm foam. Take an indicator yarn, put a double indicator on so the bass can see it. Put one leg on, Madam X style, the other leg on the other side. And that's your crick hopper.
For a lot of us fly fishermen who didn't have easy access to trout streams, the smallmouth bass and his cousin the bluegill were some of the first fish we caught. And by the way, they are all in the same family, the sunfish family, which surprises a lot of people. But whether it's a rock bass on a fast-running freestone stream, or a brim on a North Carolina pond, or a smallmouth here on the Shenandoah, they all have one thing in common. They like to fight.
Uh-oh, he go under a rock on you? You're not allowed to do that.
Nah, he did.
And he came out, and he's bigger than I thought he was. He came out. I'm telling you right now.
He went down in there and got eaten.
Look, he's doing it again.
Yeah.
That fish got a master's degree. He ain't stupid. Look at him. I'm telling you. I mean, he's not Harvard. Hey, he's messing with somebody right now. Look at that. But look at him still trying to get down in that
Digging,
rock.
man. He's digging. Oh, he's not ready yet.
No. Attaboy. There we go. Yep. He was a smart fish, wasn't he?
Look how fat his little belly is.
Hey, easy, easy. I've been trying to lose weight.
They're hardy.
Thank you. No, they're hardy, and I mean they're used to predators. They're just a tough fish,
They're
right?
a tough fish. They're the apex predator in the water.
Yeah.
They're mean even to each other.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's crazy? I'm probably floating in an area that I haven't floated since I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
So it's been about 12 years ago. I mean, isn't that crazy? My dad used to bring me to this river on weekends.
Yeah, and it hasn't changed much.
No.
I mean,
Let's catch a couple more.
yeah, let's go do it.
I was a little bit nervous about coming on a show that is centered around fishing, considering I've never done it before. Brian Kelly and the staff of the Anglers Inn really took me under their wing. They had known that I'd never fished before, and they were really patient with me, showed me all the right spots to catch the fish that I was looking for, and really catered to my every need, not only at the end, but on the water as well. Just got us nice smallmouth on a popper. All right.
Caitlin wanted to improve, and her commitment showed as the trip went on. Not only in better casting, but in better catching.
Come on, come on. Listen, I'm competitive. I'm gonna beat him. Yeah, this better make it on TV if I do this. Okay, I'm done.
It's time for this week's Trout Unlimited Take of the Week. Oh, geez, that's a good one. Now that is a take right there. That is a take and a jump, and he's not done. He's angry, he's mad. That is West Virginia smallmouth right there. My main man, Brian, too. You just turned him for me, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Turned the boat. You must think I don't know how to land this fish. Oh, or you see me?
The guy's job to help you out, brother.
That you helped out. That's a good fish right there. That's a good fish. Yeah, go on. Now that was a take.
That was a take.
Yeah.
He completely cleared the fly and down on it. He wanted to make sure he ate that fly.
I'm
and he
telling
ate
you
that
right
fly.
now, he went past the esophagus. He's straight in the lower intestine. Gone.
Can't even see it.
So this trip we caught so many fish.
We did. I've tried my hand at fishing and done pretty well, I think.
And this is your first time fly fishing.
Absolutely.
You know, the thing is, you tried to turn this into a competition.
Of course, I'm competitive.
Okay. So you think I caught more fish and bigger fish?
Probably. But you have to think about quality versus quantity, right? So mine were better quality. You may have caught more.
Good point, good point. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we've got about 1/4 of a mile to go.
All right.
Next fish is a winner.
Okay, what are we putting on it?
Well, I'm thinking if you lose, you've got the first day of WVU, because you're finishing up your degree.
Right.
First day of class, you've got to wear a Fly Rod Chronicles hat and shirt.
Okay. And if I win, then you have to wear my crown and sash around for the evening. Be Miss West Virginia for the night.
Miss West Virginia? Before we get started, the guys want to do an interview. They want to talk a little bit about your Miss America pageant.
Okay.
You
So
all right?
basically they want to talk to the winner beforehand and afterwards,
They
right?
just want to talk. They just want to talk about Miss West Virginia and your pageant and everything.
All right.
All right, enjoy the interview.
Curtis!
They really didn't want to interview you. Here,
What are you
fish.
Go.
We go with the popper, or we go?
Yeah, I think we should switch, go to the popper.
I'm not a super competitive fisherman. I just like being out on the water. But man, there was no way I was going to lose this one and put on some girl's crown. No way.
Where are the fish hiding? Am I on a rock? Oh.
Oh, that was the biggest fish of the trip. Biggest fish of the trip. You're puking? I'm ready to vomit.
I think he's gone.
Can you Photoshop that in there?
When Curtis and I started the competition, I was determined to get the first fish. I think I got something. Oh, he looks big. Oh, Curtis is gonna look nice in that sash. I think this is the biggest one of the trip. And little did I know, I would not only get the first fish, but the largest one of the trip as well.
What do you got?
Biggest fish of the trip?
We just said the next fish. You didn't have to catch the biggest fish.
Well, I did really good then, didn't I?
And look at your guide. He's all smiles and everybody. I gotta see his fish. I seen it jump. Oh my gosh, that is a beast.
You just got outfished by Miss West Virginia.
You know what? I can't believe that. That is a beast.
Watching Curtis and hanging out with him, getting to know him and taking tips from him, I think that kind of allowed me to have a little bit more confidence, and I'm really excited that I learned a new skill and was able to find something new that I enjoy to do.
So we got the sun going down. What an incredible trip, Ryan.
Incredible, incredible.
So we had Miss West Virginia,
Incredible.
Fly Rock Chronicles, kinda incredible.
Well, you need some help.
We all know that. We all know that. Hey, I can't thank you enough. I mean,
Hey,
think
you're
about
welcome.
it. We got to come stay at your bed and breakfast at Anglers Inn.
Yes, sir.
We got to learn about the Civil War in Harpers Ferry.
The prize of the Civil War, the Harpers Ferry.
Yeah, I mean, West Virginia's got it all.
We sure do.
Yeah.
And big smallmouth.
That's where I was going. Warm water fishing. We get a lot of, hey, you guys do a lot of trout fishing, mix it up a little bit. We mixed it up the last couple of days.
This is a fun trip. You can catch a lot of fish on this trip. Maybe they're not going to be 30-inch brown trout, but they can be a fish of a lifetime. We can fish the Shenandoah, the Potomac, the upper section of the Potomac. So we really fish about 5 different sections of the river.
Yep.
So you got to see 2. But somebody can fish with me 5 times a year and never see the same water twice.
This is awesome.
All right.
Am I allowed to come back?
Absolutely, Curtis.
Oh man, thank you.
Very nice.
Is that nice?
Yeah.
I'm not spinning, I'm just telling you. I'm not spinning. I mean, this is bad enough. You guys are enjoying this way too much. I mean, this won't be on the show though, right?
Some die for the union, and some die for the grave. But I'll die
It's impossible to talk about the Civil War without talking about the town of Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. You know, when West Virginia left and became its own state, this was a crucial time. It was right in the heat of the Civil War. It was a bordering state. You had bordering counties. It was brothers versus brothers.
Montani semper libera.
It's hard to be in Harpers Ferry and not feel the weight of its history.